What's doing? Welcome back, and we are in car this time. 4JJ1 trans tuning. Now I'm in the car, in here in the 4JJ1 6-speed, not the 5-speed, and the 6 speeds. We have our IDSS plugged in, ready to go. I've got all this pulled apart so we can get quick access for tuning. I've driven this thing, it's nowhere near as bad as the 4JJ3s. The customers asked for a trans tune, and I've said, okay, no worries, let's give it a go. So you're going to be riding along with me for the ride and get this thing to run a little bit better. But this is chalk and cheese compared to the 4JJ3s. The mapping is a little bit different, the software is a little bit different, but in all they're the same 6-speed box. Just slight differences, obviously, with technology and enhancers and all those sorts of things getting better. We're getting a lot better. So, without further ado, I've got all my software stuff here and hardware stuff, I've got engine speed, vehicle speed, what gear it's asking for, gear it's in, and our hex here, that's our torque converter lockup stage, still 0 to 3, and I've got our trans temp, so that's torque converter here, you can go down there, torque converter, and then that's our pan temp. So I'll put my phone in the holder and we go for a drive. What we're going to do is I'm going to go for a drive, show you what it's doing, and I'll go around this section of the loop twice. I'll pull back over, I'll put a tune in that I think should work, and then we'll manipulate if I need to and show you what it does after. So without any further ado, let's go. We'll go for a drive and see what she does. All right, we're in drive and we'll accelerate off. This is just normal driving as well, nothing spectacular. So that's second gear. Got a third gear, third lockup there, so we're in full lockup. You can't really feel the lockup in these things. It's fourth gear, partial, then full. We'll go up to 100, we are in a 100k zone. So we're up to 100 there now, fifth gear, full lockup. But it doesn't want to go up 6 until you're sort of really letting off the accelerator, much like the Hiluxes. Once you let off a little bit, and then you can get it, and there it has full lockup. But as soon as you sort of breathe on it, we'll give you a bit more revs, then wants to unlock again and go back to 5th. So much like the Hiluxes, this is very much similar, but it does get 6th gear a lot easier than the Hilux. But otherwise, it drives definitely a lot better than the 4JJ3 version. But yeah, we cruise along and it's holding that 6th gear. You can see a trans temps there, sort of 79 degrees. Yeah, coasting along nicely. But I'll see, as soon as you sort of breathe on a bit of acceleration, it just wants to kick back. So yeah, that's. Hopefully we can fix this and get this sorted out, much like we do in the 4J3 and the N80s or the Hilux, Toyota, Prado, or anything 4-cylinder with a 6-speed, or even the 200 series we can do as well. But yeah, that's it there. So I'll do a UE, we'll go back the opposite direction and see what she does that way. Alright, so I'm in the same spot as I was. The other video is going the opposite direction back towards Clounder Road. This has a bit of a rise as well. Same thing, we're just going the opposite direction to what we just were. So just trying to replicate both ways. Then when I load the file, we do the same thing both ways. And you get a bit of a downhill, you get a bit of an uphill, and 100k. So it's hard for me to go driving for an hour and show you all the different scenarios. But if I can try and make it really good in that 100k zone where you're coasting along, most people are. And then obviously if you come into an incline, then that's when you need to shift back or let it unlock. But let's get stuck in. I'll put it back in the holder. We'll go for another drive and we'll go the opposite direction and show it does. All right, so let's accelerate. I'm going to try and accelerate in front of a car here, so probably a little bit harder this time around. Gears are flary, definitely not as nice as the 4J3, I'd say, the later model stuff. But I am going to be stuck behind a car here, but same sort of thing, you've got to let off to get in the 6. Same thing, as soon as you breathe on it, it wants to unlock. If I let off, it'll lock back up again. If I let it accelerate a little bit, it wants to unlock. So as you're coasting along, it's going to unlock, 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 unlock. There you go. So the guys just decided to accelerate to 100k's and 100k's, they wouldn't read about it. And we'll try and get up to 100 behind him. It still doesn't want to lock up. This is where the rise is in the road. So I'll try and let it lock up, but as soon as it locks up and I go up a bit of a rise, it wants to unlock and go back to 5th. This rise isn't massive at all. It's just, yeah, a slight incline, but it wants to unlock. And it locks back into 5th there, and then if I let off, I can get to be on a 6. If I let off, I go on 6. So I'll have a bit of a play with the tune here, and see if we can get this thing to work, and work a little bit better, and we'll have all the 6 speeds covered. difference here, I guess, is yeah, I'll have to try and see if I can find the D-cell, talk about a lockup, but it is definitely holding lockup there. But yeah, I'll rip a Yui and at the roundabout and we'll see what she does. Alright, so I've loaded a bit of a trans tune in, which should be pretty close I reckon. We'll go for another drive, see what it does. We should compare apples with apples, hopefully get better lockup, hopefully get better gear selection, and a much nicer drive. Alright, we're accelerating off. Oh, got a car behind me again, so I need to accelerate a little bit harder. So we're now in 5th gear lock, just under 100. I should be able to get in just over 100 here and get into 6th gear. Just going up a bit of a rise. And then we have 6th gear lock. Driving nicely and I can accelerate. And it's not wanting to kick out. D-cell. Still holding that 6th gear. Driving nicely. So now, yeah, it definitely doesn't want to. So I'll unlock 6, but I want to go back to 5th under acceleration. Straight back into lockup. So yeah, much better. I'm happy with that. Trans temps are still looking good. Holding lockup, like I said, but we can accelerate. Same percentages, but it will hold 6th gear and not go back to 5th and just unlock and then lock back up again. Oh, I like it. We'll turn around and see what she does going the opposite direction. Okay, so I've just pulled over in the same spot, going back the other direction, now back to Clounder Road. Hopefully I don't get any cars in front of me because there seems to be, no one can do 100 in 100 zone. So we'll let some cars go past, hopefully I can get a bit of a window or I get some movement, and I will try and accelerate slowly so we can go all the way through the gears 1 through to 6 and see how she goes. Alright, we're going to give this a go here. I'll see if I can give this car a bit of a head start and hopefully no one else comes behind me and we can do our things we need to do. So they've got a good head start, there's no one behind me. Good, so we'll just accelerate nice and soft. So that's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, into lock. Cruise up to 5th. Straight into lock. I'll cruise up to 100. We get 6th. And straight into lock. I'm happy with that. We've got a bit of a cruise. We've got a bit of a rise up here again. We're just sitting on 100. Just driving there nicely. I'm expecting this to sort of unlock going up this hill, which is fine. So I'll unlock, raise up this hill. Like I'm asking a lot out of it. Like I'm only just on the throttle, but not a lot. But yeah, it's definitely not kicking back to 5th going up the hill. You know, sitting at 2.5 or 2.2 there RPM. If I put my foot down, obviously it'll want to go further down to 5th, but. Just sit on there nicely, cruising up the hill, holding 100. I'll hold 6 and go straight back in the lockup. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, we might go back to the shop and drive up some other hills back up here as well. I might film some other big hills for you so we can see it not unlocking. So we're just driving up a hill here, back into Clounder. If you know, it's from the Aura roundabout. It's a 70k zone, so it's just on 70 here. But it's around a 4th gear lock and it's sitting there nicely. If I sort of let it off, we can go to 5th as well. We can let it go there, and it's holding that 5th gear lock at 60 k's an hour. It'll unlock in 5th there, obviously, because we're only doing 60, but it's holding that 5th. It's not sort of floating around. Oh, that's magic. We'll do another bit of a hill and see where it goes. Coming up to the next big hill here in Clounder, not big hill, but it's up to Sugarbag Road here, and I'm going to go accelerate a little bit because we're at the same thing in the 70k zone. We're in 5th. It's not going down. It's just holding 5th gear. Whereas in the previous stuff, there you go, it's one to kick down because we're getting a prior to load up there, but let's go 4th lock. I am asking a lot of it, but yeah, we're low in the rev range and going up a hill as well. But it's holding fourth gear lock there nicely, and if I let off up the top of the hill here, we're going to fifth. Oh, even going to sixth, beautiful. So this will be nice to drive, no hunting around, it'll only kick back when it needs to, and yeah, hold that lock up. Once we get back to the shop, I'll get the phone out of the holder, and we'll have a discussion about what we've got and how it works, and how we can bring it to you guys. While we're going, I might just let you have a look anyway and see where we're going. We're going down a hill here anyway, but yeah, it's the same gearbox, just different in the way of software. It's almost the same, but not the same. A couple of different things we have to change, but you can see, yeah, straight in the fifth gear lock up. We're going down a hill here now, so it's going to want to sort of try and help me in a bit of slowing down. My brake is on here at the moment, but still holding that gear. Nice down changes, no harshness, just nice and smooth. And it sort of wants to select where it's going to be if I need to accelerate from this point, in the different torque maps as well, which is what is a lot of hard work in this stuff. You know, you're trying to manage the torque control, not just the torque converter coming in and out. So I'll come through this roundabout. Apologies for not looking at you, I just got the phone in the holder. But you can see here, it just drives nice, fourth gear, 60 Ks. We're going to go full lock up, in the fifth, lock up, and it just wants to cruise along. So this will definitely help with fuel consumption, having those lockups work, and then obviously getting that sixth gear a lot easier, and not wanting to unlock is definitely going to be helpful for fuel consumption. And just everyday driving, where it's not wanting to hunt around and flare around and do weird things. So we're all flat here now, it's all small stuff around town, so I'll turn the phone off in the holder and get back to work, and I'll have a chat to you. So I've just had another bit of a play with this car, and just want to show you fourth gear here, where we're going up a hill, so we're going to get a fair bit of load. So that's holding fourth there now, and we're in full lock. You can see my throttle position, 50% throttle going up a hill, and we're holding fourth gear full lock, and then we're going to fifth, and then sixth. I can back off the throttle and we go to 100. So this will help going up hills, giving the extra torque, and not going to want to kick back. And as we get up to 100, it'll go in the fixed lock. Happy days, and back to our normal programming. All right, so back at the shop. I'm very happy with it. Everything's working really, really well. You can feel the trans is way different. Like I said, these are very much nicer to drive than the Ford JJ3s. Torque differences, I'm guessing, is the main problem there. I have driven these obviously before, but not in depth and paid much attention to shifting. But after owning the Ford JJ3 Dmax, you can feel that thing hunt around compared to the Hilux, which has the same box. The Hilux was a much nicer car to drive, even though we couldn't get sixth gear. It was a much nicer car to drive. So now the Ford JJ3 is much nicer to drive, and then we developed this backwards, I guess, to the Ford JJ1. Now, this has to be with a 6-speed gearbox. We're not doing the 5 speeds, it's just doing the 6 speeds. 5 speeds maybe in the future. It's just more time I've got to spend on cars, but we'll see how we go. And the demand, I mean, is it really worth me doing? Is there only one person wanting it, or is there thousands? Let me know. If there's heaps of want for it, it may be something I'll look at. It's just this guy's come in and asked, and the software's pretty much the same box. So it wasn't too much in depth, just a couple of differences, but it's definitely nice to drive. Having that 6 gear easy to get, the lockups locked in properly, and we may look in the future to bring in lockups earlier in lower gears, so second, third, fourth maybe, not just fourth, fifth, sixth. But at the moment, fourth, fifth, sixth feels nice. I think it's really good. Keeps the temps down, nice to drive, not flaring around, carrying all over the place, and should be a good thing. So yeah, that's it for this one. Ford JJ1 6-speed. So pretty much the DPF models all have it. I'm not too sure about MUXs and other Dmaxs and other things, but if you have a 6-speed in your Ford JJ1, by all means we can do it. I'm sure the MUX is the same. And yeah, it should be a good thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. A bit more information. It's handy having this IDSS. So here I can have all this stuff, and I can see, I'll tilt this up so I can see as well. I can log everything, and depending on how I want to log it, just so you can see if you're interested in data, I can log it. Where's my little pop-up gone? Let's take a quick snap. All right. So I can log this way as well, which helps me with my data logging when I'm trying to tune, so I can see what's going on. If I give it a rev, you can see where it wants to go and what it wants to do. Much the same if I was to make sure in what lockup it's in and what sort of shift it's doing and all those sorts of things. So I can go through all those different things. There's so many different things we can see in here, you know, even down to the same thing, is it up to temperature and all that sort of stuff. They're all pretty much the same. It's just a couple of differences, but we can see our lockup solenoids there, and well, not lockup solenoids, I talked about sorry, we can see our pressure control solenoids as well as our lockup converter solenoids. So I can see what it wants to do. If I give it a rev, you'll see the speed ratios, what's going on. Obviously, you're not going to see too much change here because we're not trying to shift gears. But if I was to bring up our, where are we? So again, you're not going to see much because of the hex. This only comes up when we want to see, yeah, talking about lockup. But here's my engine brake status, so same thing. I can bring that up, and it'll tell me what's going on with that as well. So it logs it all separately. So I can overlay all this and see what I want to do and when I want to do it, and what I want to change. So it's a bit more in depth, like I said, than what I'm showing you in my videos of just a tune before and after. I'm only showing you what is happening. Whereas if I go through all this sort of stuff, I can see all the different things that I want to log, and you know, and try and make sure that I'm getting the information to transfer that across. So you can see you're talking about a slip, so I bring that into the scale as well. That one, it brings in a separate color, and I can log in my torque converter slip and see what it's doing. And you know, obviously, if I'm driving along, what it wants to do, I'll hold the revs there. Yeah, so I can see it there, not just in numbers. I can see it actually on the graph and see what it wants to do. So you can see our RPM, what the slip is, and if I give it a big rev, what it wants to do. So then when I'm driving along, we do the same sort of thing, what's going on. So you have it. So it's not just smoke and mirrors, like I said, it's proper tuning. We log everything, I go through it. What I'm showing you in the videos is a snippet of what we have to go through to make this work, because otherwise we'd be here for hours and hours and hours. And then on the side of that, obviously I don't want to tell all the other people out there how we do it and what we do, because you know, what we do is pretty special, I guess. Is, you know, we sort of really focus on, yeah, I don't want to say one thing. We focus on lots of things. I do, like, what we have a Y62 in yesterday versus a Dmax today, and then, you know, a Hilux and a Land Cruiser. But we try and stick to, you know, what we know, what we do, and do it right. And so I don't try and jump in anyone else's lane. Let's stay in my own lane, do my own thing, and just make sure we're getting a good product out there for you guys to have and works. And yeah, enjoy your car. So that's it. I'm waffling. I'm going to go do stuff. It's hot outside. It's nice in here in the aircon, but I better go do some stuff. But in the meantime, make sure you hit that like, hit subscribe. Let me know what you think. Is there any other cars I need to look at? I don't know. I need to drive them more to see what they're doing, so I can say, yeah, there is something they need there. People are asking for Mitsubishis and, you know, Navaras. I don't think they're that bad compared to these things, but I'm wanting to pay a bit more attention, go for a drive and see what they do. But let me know. Like I said it before, hit that like, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you want to see. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.